welcome to another online yoga class. My name is Natalie. Today we'll do a Backbends Vinyasa flow class. We'll start with warming up our back, work towards a peak pose in the backbends, and then finish with a nice relaxation. To start, come and find a comfortable position for you to sit down on your mat or perhaps on a yoga block. You can open up the hips a bit easier. Close your eyes and focus all your attention on yourself. For the next 45 minutes, it's just you on your yoga mat. And everything around you is more and more in the distance. Start to focus on your breath. Make your breath a bit deeper and longer. Breathing in and out through the nose. Starting your inhalation from your belly, blowing it up like a balloon. And then the ribcage is following, expanding. And finally, at the end of the inhalation, your collarbones are lifting. And when you exhale, you start from the belly, the navel draws back in, and the ribs come back to center, and the collarbones go down. Notice the nice flow your breath has, with a pause at the end of the inhalation and end of the exhalation. If you're familiar with Ujjayi breath, tighten the back of your throat just a little bit and sucking in the air through your windpipe, creating a hissing sound. If you're not familiar yet with Ujjayi breath, just focus on breathing in and out through the nose during the whole class. Then lift your pelvic floor, pull in your lower abdominals, tightening your core. In yoga we call this Mula and Uddiyana Bandha. Your root lock and your belly lock. Keeping the energy inside your body and protecting your lower back in a lot of poses. It's a gentle squeeze, so tighten these muscles for about 30%, and ideally you want to do this throughout the class. But the most important is to breathe in and out through the nose with long and deep breath. Then set an intention for yourself. What would you like to focus on today? The theme today is backbends, but maybe you have another theme or intention you like to add to it. And if you're sitting on the block, gently take it away and then slowly open the eyes. And we start by making small movements, bringing the chest forward, shoulders back, and then arching the body, gently hanging on the knees. I'll show you from the side. So inhale, stretch out, chest forward, shoulders back. Exhale, arch your spine, make a C. Inhale. And exhale. Now we're going to do this in a circular movement. So inhaling, chest forward. And exhaling, gently hanging on the knees with your back arched. Follow your breath. Might be a bit faster or slower than me, that's fine. And exaggerate the movements. Nicely warming up your spine, your back, your hips a little bit as well. And make sure you do the other side. Last circle, and then come on all fours. Hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips, fingers widely spread, and push up from the floor. So active arms and shoulders. Inhale, gently bring your chest and tailbone up. And exhale, push your back out towards the ceiling and gaze towards your navel. Follow your breath. So when you're inhaling, you're moving in this position, and only when you start to exhale, you move into the other position. One more time. Inhale, lift your chest and tailbone. Exhale, push out your back. And then with a neutral spine, wag your tail like a dog, opening the hips, lower back. My shoulders are also moving along. Now we are going to connect a couple of movements together. First, we're coming into child's pose, bringing the toes together, hips to heels. If you can rest your head on the floor. Otherwise, it can dangle in the air a little bit if you're here. In this pose, focus on your breath. Long, deep breath, expanding your ribcage on the inhalation. And feeling it come back to center on your exhalation. Also notice if you're still lifting your pelvic floor and pulling in your lower abdominals. From child's pose, we're going to come back on all fours. Then on your inhalation, you're going to bring your chest and tailbone up. And then on your exhalation, now you're going to tuck your toes under, bring your hips to heels and in the air into downward dog. And then on your inhalation, you gently bring the knees back, lift your chest and tailbone, and exhale, stretch out into child's pose. Do this 3 times. Inhale, lift your chest and tailbone. Exhale, tuck your toes under, push 3 hands away from the floor, stretch out. Gently bring the knees down. Inhale, lift your chest and tailbone. Exhale, stretch out, hips to heels, long spine. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. We're going to stay here in downward dog for 5 deep breaths. Make sure your fingers are widely spread, middle fingers facing forward. Your hands are shoulder width apart, feet hip distance apart, and bring your chest towards your big toes. 3 more breaths. 1, 2, and 3. Then only drop the heels to the left, stretching out the right side of your body. Take a deep breath here. And then move your hips, the heels to the other side, stretching out the left side of your body. And heels back to center, and gently walk your feet forward. Inhale, hands on shins, lengthen your spine, press your feet down. Exhale, fold forward with your knees bent. One more time. Inhale, straighten the legs, lengthen your spine. And exhale, fold. Now bend the knees a bit deeper. Hips a little bit to the back and slowly roll up, pressing the feet down in the floor while you roll up and standing tall. We're going to start with a sun salutation. So big toes touching, feet together, hands by your side. Inhale, bring your arms up, reach through your fingertips. Exhale, gently bow forward. Inhale, lift your chest, lengthen your spine. And exhale, jump or step back. The easy way is bringing the knees down, chest down, hands by your side. Inhale, hips down on the floor, lift your chest, roll the shoulders to the heels. And exhale, press through your hands away from the floor, tighten your core into downward dog for 5 breaths. 1, stretch out your arms, sitting bones up in the sky. 2, bring your chest towards your toes. 3, 4, and 5. Look towards your hands, jump or step in between. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, bend forward. Inhale, press the feet down. Lengthen through your fingertips. And exhale, arms down. Now we do a vinyasa, so half a sun salutation. Inhale, bring your arms up. Exhale, bend forward. Inhale, lift your chest. And exhale, step or jump back. If you're feeling strong, you can also just bend the arms and lift up into upward dog, pushing away from the floor, lifting, and then exhale. Lift the hips up from your core muscles. Now in this downward dog, we're gonna do the next thing. On your inhalation, you're gonna lift your right leg. And when you exhale, you're gonna try and step it forward. If it doesn't land in one go all the way forward, you can bring it forward with your arm. Then you bring your left knee down, inhale, arms up. And then exhale, we're gonna move back, hands down, press through the hands into downward dog. We're gonna do this 3 times. Inhale, stretch. Exhale, use your strength. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, push through your hands, tighten your core. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, step. Inhale, chest up. Exhale, push up from the floor. Last one. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Now we are going to do this on the left side. So inhale 3 times, lengthen. Exhale, step it forward. Inhale. And exhale. If it goes too fast, you can do it slower. And you don't have to lift your leg all the way up, just as high as you can. The nice straight leg. Inhale. And exhale. Last one. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Okay, in downward dog, we're just gonna drop the heels one more time to the left, stretching out the right side. And the heels to the right, stretching out your left side. Then you are gonna step your right foot forward and your left knee comes to the floor. Now it would be nice if you have a soft floor underneath the knee. I got like a yoga prop I can put underneath. You could also use a blanket or fold your mat double. So your knee has a soft landing there. Okay. Now in this pose, we're going to start with our hands on the knees and bringing the hips forward. Gravity will bring them down. You don't have to push into it. Let it happen. Breathe. Lift up through the chest and tighten your pelvic floor. Lift it up. Pull in the lower abdominals. 3 deep breath. 1, 2, and 3. Then we're going to bring our arms up, and then your left fingertips, if you can, they can touch the floor. You could bend to the side while your fingers are on the floor. You can also use a yoga block, or if you don't have anything and you're not touching the floor yet, you're staying more in the middle here. Just a gentle bow to the side. 2 more deep breaths here. 1. And 2. Move into the other side, lengthen, and then bow to the other side. 3 breaths. 1, 2, And 3, back to center. Now bring your hands in your lower back for protection. Make sure you're lifting the pelvic floor, pull in your lower abdominals, lift your chest up and have a gentle back bend here for 3 breaths. 1, 2, and 3. Upper body back up, and then gently bring the hips to the back and flex your right foot. So make sure that your hips are above your left knee. And then with the tall spine, so lengthening through the crown of your head, you bend forward. You might need some blocks to bring your hands up, or if you can reach the floor, your hands can support you. So really important, lengthen your spine, bring your chest and the crown of your head towards your big toe. 2 more deep breaths. 1, and 2. Then we are gonna come with 2 knees on the floor into puppy pose. So we bring the hips above the knees, they stay there, and your hands reach forward. In the beginning, it's moving your head towards the floor, and after a while, your chest comes closer, and then you have to lift or rotate your head to make space. 3 breaths. Feel the stretch in between the shoulder blades and in your shoulders. Tighten your core muscles. 2 more breaths. 1, and 2. Gently bring your chest up and back on all fours. We are gonna change side. So I'm gonna protect my right knee, putting something underneath so it's nice and soft. Left foot forward, and we start with the hands on the knee. 3 breaths, lifting the pelvic floor, lift through the chest. 1, 2, and 3. Straighten your arms and your right fingertips to the floor or on top of a book or a block. 3 breaths here. 1, 2, and 3. Back to center. Reach up through the fingertips and exhale to the other side. 1, 2, and 3. Back to center. Make yourself tall. Then support your lower back, hands in your lower back. Lift through the chest and a gentle back bend here. Tightening your core. 3 breaths. 1, lift through the chest. 2, and 3. Upper body back up. And then bring the hips towards the back. Straighten your left leg, flex your foot. So like I said, maybe you're more up here with your hands on your hips. But if you can bow further forward, then you can support yourself with your hands on the floor. 3 breaths here. Now we're stretching the back of the left leg. 1, 2, and 3. Back into the puppy pose, bringing our knees under the hips. I'm going to move this away from my right knee so they're on the same height on the floor. Stretch out through your hands, really surrender in this pose into the gravity. Trust your body. And 3 breaths. 1, feel the stretching between the shoulder blades and your shoulders. 2, and 3. Then gently come lie on your belly for cobra. Bring your hands by your chest. Point the toes away from you, behind you. Tighten your leg muscles so the knees come off the floor, but not the toes, only the knees. Push your pubic bone down into the floor, and then inhale from the strength in your back muscles. Lift your chest, and exhale, bring it down 3 times. Doesn't have to be a big movement, it can be very small. Inhale, pressing the pubic bone down, lift the chest, roll the shoulders to the heels. Exhale, down. Inhale, roll up. Exhale, roll down. Last one. Inhale. And exhale. Then coming to downward dog, pressing through the hands. If you want, come through the hands and knees first. And then into downward dog for 3 breaths. Stretching out in the back bend. The long, long spine now. 1, 2, and 3. Walk your feet forward. Inhale, hands on chins. Press the feet down, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold forward. Then bring your hands on the back of your legs. And when you come up, your hands are traveling upwards in your lower back. Now, if you can, place them with the fingers up. Otherwise, the fingers are pointing to the side. Squeeze your legs together, your butt together. Lift the chest up. Roll the shoulders behind you. 3 breaths here. 1, 2, and 3. Inhale, lift your chest back up. And exhale, travel down. Massaging your legs with your hands. And then bringing your feet hip distance apart. And with a gentle bend in the knees, move your body from left to right, releasing any tension in your back or in the back of your legs. And then step your feet together again, big toes touching, hands behind your legs. Slowly come up, travel your hands up in your lower back. For support, fingers upward to the side. Squeeze the legs together, press the feet down. Push the hips forward, lift the chest up. 3 breaths. 1, 2, and 3. Inhale, stand up straight. And exhale, one more time. Bow forward, opening the legs, hip distance apart. Bend the knees, and one more time. Move your upper body from left to right. Just dangling it all out, hanging like a rag doll. And then gently step into your downward dog. Now look towards your hands and step your right foot forward. And slowly come up with your upper body. Keep the left heel up in the air and push through that heel, straightening that leg. So you feel a stretch here on the front of your hip. You might be wondering why we have some hip stretches as well. That's because some muscles are attaching in your lower back. For example, the hip flexor attaches in your lower back. So sometimes you can have pain or tension in your lower back, but actually coming from the front of your body. So that's why we also do that stretch. One more breath here. And then gently bring the left knee down. Come back into that stretch in the back of your right leg for 3 breaths before we move into the next pose. 1, 2, and 3. Now we are gonna gently sit down and open the legs a bit so that left leg is bent, and make sure that your left toes are not pointing to the side, but Almost all your toes are touching the floor and pointing behind you. That's good for the knee. If you feel any stress or tension in the knee, you could potentially do it like this or this. Now rotate your chest towards that left knee, and then you can bring your right arm on top of your leg for this position, or if you can go a bit further, if you can rest your arm on the floor, you might be able to grab your foot. I'll first show it like this. On your exhalation, you're going to rotate your chest down and your left shoulder dips down, and then inhale, you open the chest towards the ceiling, elbow up. We do that 3 times. Exhale, chest to the floor. Inhale, roll it up. Exhale, roll it down. Inhale, roll up. Exhale, down. Inhale, roll up. And then gently come back up. And move to hands and knees, all fours. Now we are going to move our right knee to the chest, arch the shoulders and back. And then inhale, pretend you can touch your head with your toes. 3 times. Exhale and inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Now see if you can grab your foot with your opposite arm, or maybe you have trousers you can grab, or your ankle. If you can't reach it yet, you can stay here with both hands on the floor, trying to reach your toes to your head. If you can reach it, your leg is going to pull on your arm so your chest comes up. Don't drop the knee. Keep it lifting up. Look over your left shoulder. Keep smiling. And one more deep breath here. And exhale. Bring the hand and knee down. Time for the other side. Bring the knee to chest. And then toes towards your head. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And then see if you can reach with your opposite arm towards your ankle or your foot or your trousers. Keep lifting that knee up, pulling on the arm, lift your chest up. One more deep breath here. And exhale. Hands and knee down. Now bring the knees a bit wider than the hips. Touch your big toes. Bring the hips towards the back. Let's take a rest in child's pose for 3 breaths. Your head can also dangle in the air if it doesn't touch the floor yet. 1. Focus on expanding your ribcage in the inhalation. 2. And drawing it back to center in your exhalation. And 3. Gently come up on all fours. Come back in downward dog so we can finish this on the left side. Step your left foot forward. Keep your right heel off the floor. Push your right heel back, straightening that leg. Feeling the stretch on the front of your right hip for 3 breaths. 1. 2. And 3, bringing the right knee down, straightening the left leg, flexing the foot, hands on blocks or hands on floor or hands on hips, stretching out your spine. 1, stretching the back of this left leg. 2, and 3. Then gently come and sit down. And I like to open my legs a bit more so the right knee a bit further away. And like you can see, my toes are pointing behind me. So that's healthy for the knee. Rotate the upper body, chest towards the right knee. Left arm either on top of your leg, or if you can go further, it looks like this. Exhale, bring your chest towards the floor. Inhale, open up the chest, elbow to the sky. Exhale, rotate. Inhale, exhale, rotate. Inhale up. And then slowly bring the upper body up and come back to all fours. And let's take another nice breath in child's pose, resting out our back. Now this time, let's bring our arms by our side and really focus on the line of our spine. So in this pose, you're imitating like the spine of a baby in the belly. Like nice, almost C shape. Long, long line, fully stretched. Breathe into your lower back. Feel the back slowly opening up. We're doing a lot of different stretches for the back, not only back bends, also some rotations. And like I said, a stretch in the hip flexor. So everything connected to your back, so you're ready for all the back bends. And now, slowly come up with this renewed energy. Let's work to our peak poses. So for the next one, the camel pose, pretend you have a wall in front of you and you're bringing your legs and your hips towards the wall. Then bring your hands in your lower back. Tighten the legs, squeeze the butt together, push the hips a bit forward and then lift through your chest for a gentle back bend. Lift the pelvic floor, pull in your lower abdominals to protect your back as well. 3 breaths. 1, 2, and 3. Inhale, slowly come up. And then the second time, you can go a bit further if you want. You can also do the same. So if you tuck your toes under, you can see if you can already reach your heels. You don't want to sit down on them because then you lose the whole pose. So you have to keep pushing the hips forward, the legs and hips against that wall. If you can't reach yet, you can just do this pose. 3 more breaths. Lift through the chest. 1. Squeeze the legs and bum together. 2. And 3. Bring your chest back up and stretch it out. Let's do the puppy pose first. The hips above the knees, stretch out through your fingers. Opening that upper back, the whole shoulder girdle. Lifting your pelvic floor, pulling your lower abdominals, bring the stretch up. So no hanging in your back, but stretching your shoulder girdle. 2 more breaths. 1. And 2. Then gently lie down. And then bend your legs. See if you can grab onto your feet or your ankles or your trousers. If you can't reach yet, then you can do cobra. If you can touch your legs already, then push your pubic bone down in the floor and then with your legs pull on your arms. I like to flex my feet here. And you can also do it through the balls of the feet. Lift your chest up by pulling on your arms. 3 breaths. 1, 2, and 3. Gently rest it out on one cheek. Move your hips a little bit from left to right. We're going to do this pose one more time. If you want to challenge, I can take you a step further. Otherwise, you can do the exact same pose. So either you stay here, or after you lift your chest, you roll on your left side. You keep making that back bend while you lie on your side. You can keep your head on the floor or in the air, but keep making the back bend. Keep pulling on your arms with your legs. Then gently move back to center. Lift your chest and roll to the other side. If you don't get there in one go, you can use your hand to push yourself on your side and then stay here like a bow for an arrow. Nice back bend. And then we all come back to center. Inhale. And we relax in crocodile pose. Hands on top of each other, forehead on your hands. Your feet a little bit wider than the hips, toes pointing to the side, and shake your hips from left to right. You can do it really fast or a bit slower. This is massaging your lower back. Massaging all the tension away from these back bending positions. Then let's neutralize the lower back more. Come lie on your back. And then bring your arms outside to both sides, knees to chest, and then roll the legs all the way to the right. And then you release the left arm either away from you, so you have an extra stretch in the chest and shoulder there, or you can move it up by your ear. I don't have so much room today, so I'm gonna leave it like this. If you want it more intense, you can bring the knees a bit up, or you can even cross one leg over the other. So we're focusing on the lower back. Feel the twist. And let all the muscles and tissues on either side of the spine relax whenever you exhale. 2 more breaths. And then gently roll the knees back up. Lie nice and straight, and then bring the legs to the left. If you want, you can stretch out that right arm, opening the chest, or you move it by your ear, or you let it rest on your hip. Do what feels good. Your body will tell you. Now focus on your lower back. Feel the rotation. Relax all the muscles in your lower back when you exhale. 3 more breaths. 1. 2. And 3. Then bring the knees to chest and hug your legs. Bring your knees in between, your nose in between your knees. 3 breaths here. 1, 2, and 3. And then it's time for our relaxation part. If you still feel a little bit tension in the lower back, then you can place your feet on the floor and have your knees come together. So if it's a pain in your back that is slowly gonna go away, it's kind of spread over an area, that's okay. But if it's like a sharp pain, then you always have to stop, then something is wrong. If you feel like, oh, I want one more stretch while we relax, you could bring the soles of the feet together, knees to the side. And you can also do the traditional Shavasana position where the legs are straight, your feet are a bit wider than your hips, and your knees and toes are rolling to the side. Make sure your hand palms are facing up. And then just bring your chest up and shoulder blades a bit more together, and then lie down so you're lying fully on your shoulder blades. And now close your eyes and let your body relax further and further. Let it become heavier and heavier. Breathing out any tension that's left in the body. Letting it go on your exhalation. Then while your body is relaxing further and further, let the body take over the breath so you don't have to focus on it anymore. And then it's time to calm your mind. You can either focus on your breath, becoming an observer and observing when you inhale and exhale, visualizing the breath going inside and outside your body. Or you could choose one point somewhere on your body and focus all your attention on it, trying to stay focused on that one point, practicing mindfulness, being present in the moment, not doing anything, but just being. I'll let you practice this for the next minute, and then my voice will return. While you're practicing your mindfulness, I would like to read a short story about mindfulness. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. So in part, mindfulness is about training ourselves to recognize that space between stimulus and response. Let's say someone cuts us off in traffic. What do? Do we immediately honk or yell or gesture in anger at the other driver? Or do we instead pause for a breath and choose our response mindfully? The point is, we are in control of our own actions. If our intention is to foster kindness and compassion in the world, for example, through mindfulness, we can learn to recognize which situations tend to trigger us into actions that are less than kind and compassionate. We can teach ourselves to experience the stimulus, to bear witness to our internal feelings of anger or blame or fear, and then respond with calm kindness. Experience, feel, pause to acknowledge the feeling, and craft a response that is in keeping with our intentions, and then respond. In the tiny gap between experience and response lives a world of new possibilities. So now think to yourself, in the gap between the stimulus and my response lies my growth and freedom. Then gently become aware of the room where you are. If you would like to lie down a bit longer, please do. Otherwise, stretch out your body as if you're just waking up in your bed. Bring your knees to your chest and roll on your right side, using your arm as a pillow. Taking a moment to wake up. And you could use your left arm to slowly come up, so we can end together with a bow. Bring your hands to your heart, close your eyes, and think one more time of the story about mindfulness. The little gap between the stimulus and your response, that is where your freedom and your growth is. Then bow forward. and come back up. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope to see you again next time.